So I thought I'd make this video on my new truck. She's I don't even know how many kilometers it has on it, but it's pretty much brand new. Got the fuel filter water separator right there, the power steering pump. Yes, trucks aren't electric yet. Here's the actual pump. Got that arm that goes forward and backwards and pulls that steering knuckle forward or backwards. And there's a bar that connects the two together to turn you. Very old school and simple. The air filter in there. That whole box is a preheat box. It when you turn the key on, it heats the air inside to help it start. Got the fuel rail, I should say. The injectors. Inline 6-cylinder. That right there is another fuel filter. I think that's the water separator to get the water out of the fuel, and then that's the fuel filter just before it goes into the engine. There's two of them on here. And that's the compressor in there. Coolant overflow. Radiator, oil cooler, and air cooler, radiator, and oil cooler, and a compressor and a cooler for the air conditioning. And these new trucks have these little side vents because when you're driving down the road, your side windows get all full of water, but I don't think they work very well. It's especially bad in the winter when you get salt all over your side windows. You can't see out of your side window. You can't see in your mirrors because there's salt covering everything. So they came up with those little flaps there, but I don't think they do anything. Yet to be determined. I haven't really asked anybody. There's the old truck. Got to switch everything over. And these trucks have this new, that black part. They didn't put them on the other trucks because they just get smashed because they're so low. You get like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches of ground clearance. I wonder how long that'll last in the snow. Just flimsy plastic. Over on this side, you get the air cutoff thing. When you hear the trucks make a popping noise, that's when the air compressor fills up, reaches maximum capacity. That pops off and stops the air compressor from running in compressed mode. It runs all the time, but and that's part of the air conditioning. The dryer, EGR system up top there, turbo, all the belts and fans, and the HVAC system filters, and the brakes, suspension, 2-leaf suspension on the front. And we'll go around to the back. Let's show you the difference between the fronts. See that black thing's missing from the bottom. And there's back a bit, get the airflow things and a new style front mud flaps. Some pretty beefy tread. And it's all mud back here, it just rained. And pretty simple out back, just two little brake turn signals, a backup light. The rear differential, airbags, intermediate drive shaft, and the front differential. I'll have to go back the other way. I haven't even sat in the chair in this one yet. I know the old truck had a front axle locker, and you lock it between the two axles. So it had, in effect, you could have 3 out of the 4 wheels out back spinning. Not sure what this new truck has. Most of them just have inner axle lock, so you get one tire on each axle spinning when you get stuck. But that's not very good for traction in the wintertime, for when you're stuck. You really need axle lockers, because usually one wheel is less stuck than the other, and when you have inner axle differentials, all it does is spin one wheel on each axle, and usually one wheel on each axle is not stuck and the other one is, and it'll just spin the 2 unstuck ones, the easiest ones to spin. So we'll climb in here. Nice leather chairs. Oh, and they have heating and cooling and air ride for the passenger. Normally they just give that to the driver. And here, oh, this one's different than my other truck. This one has the inner axle locker and the rear differential locks, as opposed to the front. Very odd. So, other than that, you get the sleeper, ambient dome lights, footwell lights, utility lights for your backup lights, anti-spin button, so you're not pretty much takes traction control off. Your override for your engine shutdown, and your hill start assist off. I don't know why you'd ever want to turn that off. And these automatics, when you're on a steep hill, you just give your brake an extra couple pounds, and when you let off your brake, it'll hold. You can get right to the fuel pedal, and it'll hold it on the hill for a couple seconds before the transmission gets a hold and gets you going up the hill without rolling back. And pretty much your standard. Of course, they didn't lock the CB down. That'd be nice falling out when I go down the road. Overhead storage bin, couple storage bins, then you get the ones on the side. And then I'll take you out back. You get the vinyl floor up front, carpet in the back. And you get this one has an inverter for 120 volts. Plugs right there. A little place to put your TV if you have one. I don't bother with it. I just use my phone. You got a little cubby and the bunk bed. In case you're a team operation, which I'm not. That can stay up there. My old one, I never moved it. And it's got some windows in behind that vent that you can open, which is good because my last truck didn't have those windows up at the top, and I pretty much had to use the air conditioner all the time. Then you get the mattresses that go on your bed. Haven't unfolded them yet. And that wire cage is basically, if you're a team driver, you put that over them, that's their seat belt while they're sleeping. I don't know how anybody could drive and be like that. I can't even drive team. I don't trust the other driver. I only trust myself when I'm driving. And my wife when we're in the car. Another little cubby hole. Slide out the desk. Another little cubby hole. And the fridge. A little drawer. And then the fridge. And that's basically all there is. Now I just gotta get everything out of that other truck and put it into this truck, including putting all the transponders on the windows, changing my Sirius XM over to this truck, and arguing with them about having to pay for it. And getting my bed together, which I think I will bring my sheets home out of my other truck and wash them first, and I'll just throw everything back there and set it up tomorrow night when I stop for the night. But yeah, pretty plain trucks. That big square in the middle there is where you could put a computer navigation system. But our company does not do that. They give us the satellite, but most of the programs aren't on there. There's navigation on that too, but we get our own GPSs. And not really fond of that brown color, but what can you do? It's not my truck. Well, it's my truck to use, just I didn't buy it. Thank God, because I believe they're in the low 200s now with this recession going on. My particular company is one of the highest paying in the Maritime, so we get paid pretty good. Of course, I can't really see my company because it was bought out by another company, but so far nothing's changed. I think the other company just hauls their own product everywhere. They sell it. Where our company is for hire, basically a for hire company, hauls anything, but we have contracts and stuff, and mostly haul food. But food and ice cream. But I know their company pays significantly less than our company does, so I'm wondering what's going to happen there. Eventually their drivers, I think they're going to operate them as two separate companies instead of merging everything into one. But in the past we've hauled their product for them because they didn't have enough drivers. Did a load a couple of weeks ago actually, and previous to that we've done quite a bit for them. But yeah, we have our own office, we have our own shop. We have actually multiple offices. We have one here, one in Woodstock, one in PEI, and one in Montreal and Toronto. So they have one in New Brunswick and one in Virginia in the US. But so that's the new truck. And I gotta get busy and switch everything over so I can spend my day off at home and not here in the truck. So, hope you enjoyed. I'll turn it on, see the dashboard. Close door or apply parking brake. Parking brake is applied. Oh, it has 6,095 kilometers on it. So they used my truck to piggyback the other trucks up from Mexico. And I have no fuel, of course. And coming up here, they average 38.8 liters per 100 kilometers, 68 kilometers an hour. It took them 90 hours of driving. And I will erase that. Just go into the menu here. You got the turbo gauge, the oil temperature, the transmission temperature, the application pressure, and the weight that is on the fifth wheel. Diesel particulate filter. You got your locks. They light up orange when you lock them. Engine idle adjust. No active. There's all the codes. That's all the computer systems that are on here. These are all the different computer systems on a truck. Quite a few of them, isn't there? And WB2, whatever that is, phone not connected. And you can change your dash brightness, your lighting, your units, time, language, make custom gauges. See if they have the time rate, AST. Yeah. And units, kilometers, distance, temperature. Yeah. So there we have it. And then you get your fuel gauge, your oil pressure, your RPMs, your speedometer, your air for both tanks. Sorry about that, camera work. Your water temperature, or coolant temperature. And over here you get your filter minder, another suspension gauge in the middle, and then your application pressure. This one doesn't have its own turbo gauge except on the dashboard. My other truck had the turbo gauge, so you can see what how many pounds of boost you're putting in the turbo. It's usually in 12th gear, it's usually around 23, and then in all the other gears is 30 for some reason. I don't know why they do that, but that's the way she is. Okay, I got 22 messages on here. Awesome. Anyway, I'll go through that some other time. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, and have a good day. Comment.